Mr. X died, and that's now happened. So we'll give you again, for those that don't know it, his full name and exactly what Lindsey Williams is able to tell us now, because he worked for many years with the head of operations for Atlantic Richfield, and he's now able to talk about that and what this insider said the globalists were planning. Now it's very evident they're accelerating global collapse to destroy all the major economies and currencies and set up their new SDR based on carbon taxes and global VAT. They are slashing pension funds, military, medical treatment. They are going after the most outrageous things first, because if they can take veterans' health care, they can do anything. Europe, the United States, taxing pension funds, taking pension funds, it's all happening. They're openly talking about shutting down free speech on the web, tracking everyone here in the United States. Australia has announced it. Headline, Australia to implement Chinese-style net censorship. Again, they're just throwing it in your face, going all the way now. And it's being reported all over UK news very dryly. They have the UK Metropolitan Police Commissioner being quoted as saying police mulling, banning all UK protest. And Watson's getting an article out with a proper headline. When you hear about Indonesia going under martial law, or Nigeria, or Venezuela, it's always protest or banned. And then there's curfews. And you notice in towns all over the U.S., they now have curfews even in the daytime. In Arkansas and weird places that you wouldn't expect it. In fact, people don't believe it. Just type Arkansas town has daytime curfew. Clover, Port, Kentucky, daytime, nighttime curfews off and on in the past. They're just training you to line up, have the government put their hands down your pants. They've now announced, first it was 800 Walmarts, now 9,000 retail stores to have giant telescreens. See, a week ago, it's 800. A week later, it's 9,000. A month later, it's going to be 100,000. Every license plate in California, they're announcing is going to have a computer screen as a license plate, giving you messages and orders and tracking you. I mean, they are rolling out a hellish takeover. The same retina scanning, thumbprinting they do to people in Fallujah or Afghanistan or Iraq, it's coming here. Total control grid. They got the Threat Fusion Center, CIA run here in Austin. I knew they had it in 6-7 years ago. License plate reading, face scanning. They've now announced on the news. They've got microphones. The feds have got microphones mounted on poles everywhere that at hundreds of yards away shoot a laser that you can't even see at your window. They get full acoustic audio inside your house with that laser cup link. I mean, it is just a hell grid. And they've built this giant overarching system. They've got all their weapons and control and spies aimed, and now they're rolling out, yeah, censorship's good. Banning protests is good. Free speech zones. Yeah, your neighbors need to spy on you. Don't trust other shoppers. Only trust the government. Now, for the next 20 minutes or so, we are joined by Winston Smith, and he works some with federaljack.com. I'd call it kind of a spin-off, but just as effective and great as We Are Change. Do a lot of great, confronting Al Gore, George W. Bush, other globalists, just amazing patriots, exposing the global warming fraud, you name it. And he joins us because he concurs with my analysis, and he's seeing it now in the hacker community. And this guy's good, folks. He's very good. He's really a security consultant, a.k.a. white hat hacker. And so, Winston Smith, it's good to have you here. Tell folks your intel on what they're planning and how they're using all of this hacking to try to pass their internet kill switch.
Well, thanks for having me on. Well, basically, the group Anonymous itself, it's not a government operation. It's not run by the government. It's just basically citizens on the internet. There's not really controlled or run by anyone, but because it's so decentralized like that, anyone can jump on and make suggestions and basically fan the flames in whatever direction they want. So there are definitely operatives within the anonymous community, and they're definitely on there fanning the flames to promote infrastructure attacks and denial of service attacks on financial systems and other systems that end up affecting average people that the the powers that be, they're not really too concerned about. They'll lose service for a bit, but then they'll come right back on once everyone gets tired. And
this is the false flag on the web that I've been predicting.
Yeah, yes. The reason they're doing that is they want to implement the government IDS sensors in front of things that they deem critical infrastructure. Google's already deployed an Einstein surveillance system, and the Einstein IDS was developed by the NSA, and they're really pushing that to have that put in front of private business networks that are deemed critical infrastructure. So,
and that's the whole Homeland Security takeover with InfraGard, clergy response. Basically, everything is critical infrastructure. That's in the Homeland Security Cybersecurity Act, where any ISP that has over 100 customers has to be government approved and have government snoop hubs in it. So it is literally Internet 2 going out and making companies pay for Internet 2 to be put in. That's a parallel web to start absorbing the old Internet and tracking everyone. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, and they're selling it that it's going to protect you from hackers, that the sensors will be able to look for malicious traffic and look for attacks and be able to block them at the source and report it. But in reality, it's going to be able to do much more than that. It's going to be able to have a deep packet inspection where it's going to be able to pretty much examine all the contents of what's coming over the wire. And they're going to be looking for dissident communications, because that's the nature of government. That's what they do. They're not really interested in protecting anything.
Absolutely, that's admitted. I saw 2 years ago, Kurt Nimmo wrote an article with bizarre statements by Cyber Command that's already fully operating. They're just trying to get legislative authority now to do it in the open. And they said that they were already attacking themselves and, quote, attacking enemies of their agenda, which Cass Sunstein and others admit is people like yours truly, or anyone who disagrees with man-made global warming. Where do you see this going? And do you agree with my analysis that Assange is a patsy? They're trying to use him to make this Cass Sunstein-connected, George Soros-connected movement look legitimate, and that they're basically persecuting him to give an overall cover story to their larger takeover?
From what I know about Assange, he seems legit, and it seems like because they're going after him so hard in so many different ways. I do believe he's a legitimate researcher. He's from the old school hacker ethos from back in the 90s and late 80s from Australia. He's definitely, he seems to have the right hacker ethos, and the way they're attacking him just kind of lends credibility to what he's doing. And the way that mainstream media is seizing on a lot of the document dumps and just reporting on stuff that's promoting their agenda, such as invading Iran and stuff like that. I think that since there's 250,000 cables, they're just digging through and cherry picking what's going to benefit them in order to do damage control. But from what I can tell, Assange does seem to be legit.
There's a lot of questions I could raise here or bring up to you, but clearly the good news is when you're looking at all the big hacker sites and forums, to paraphrase what you said, or correct me if I'm wrong, 99% of the time nobody is biting on joining with these provocateurs to go after alternative media, patriot groups, but also key infrastructure and individuals to create a pushback and a really corporate and grassroots support for do something about these hackers, put a muzzle on the Internet.
Right. The attacks on anything beyond really attacks on the financial sector aren't really gaining much steam. They just kind of seem to be puttering out, because the way it works is a post will be made or suggestion will be made, and if the group of people who are monitoring at the time and are participating at the time don't get behind it, the idea just flutters out. So you'll see destructive things being suggested every now and then, but they'll thankfully they're so far just petering out. And when they do take place, like attacks on the financial industry, they're arresting kids and low hanging fruit. The anonymous groups, they're using something called the low orbit ion cannon, the LOIC, and it's basically an opt-in botnet where you just run it from your computer and it'll start opening connections on a website, and they'll get a few thousand people to do this, and it'll take the website down. The program by default doesn't offer any proxying support, so it traces directly back to your computer, and they're arresting 16 and 17-year-old kids. I think they just arrested a 19-year-old kid who was running the software, pinning them.
Yeah, we've seen operatives. We've seen operatives openly on YouTube recruiting people to run these attacks on InfoWars and Prison Planet, and we've tracked it back and are pretty sure that it's Homeland Security doing it, posing as hackers, and it's just ongoing. So that's important for people to know that they're just busting a few kids and not going after, the really malicious stuff, which in every case we've looked at is a staged event.
And there's some other campaigns that different anonymous groups are doing, and they actually seem to be they're actually productive. They're encouraging people to read the WikiLeaks documents and actually. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the music going? I can't hear that. Yeah,
stay there because exactly, that's the big news coming up. You say there's about to be some real WikiLeaking going on, and instead of just cherry picking, really getting into those documents and getting stuff out there like DynCorp running little kids. We'll be right back. Folks, you've heard us talk about HomeGain before. HomeGain is now offering a special promo where you get up to $150 when you buy or sell a home with a HomeGain agent you find through their Find a Realtor program. HomeGain lets you compare realtors anonymously. It's easy. Go to HomeGain150.com to find and compare realtors anonymously. Enter promo code HomeGain150 and receive up to $150 when you close a deal with a HomeGain agent. Share the HomeGain150 promo code with your friends via Facebook, Twitter, text, and more. Look for Max, the HomeGain Gorilla, to find out more about how HomeGain is going to pay you. Visit HomeGain150.com today to enter your promo code and get paid for buying or selling a house. That's HomeGain150.com.
Is it really possible to get out of debt without payment plans or attorneys? 18 years ago, we developed a program that has made thousands debt-free in just 90 days. It's called Zero Debt in 90 Days, and it works for all credit card debt, medical bills, even collection lawsuits.
When I first joined, I was being sued. So I used the program methods, and after filing one piece of paper, the collection lawsuit was dismissed.
With Zero Debt in 90 days, your success is guaranteed in writing. There is no other program of its kind. Don't be alone when creditors gang up on you. Let our team of experts provide the resources to fight back and stop creditors in only 90 days, guaranteed. Prevent wage garnishments, bank levies, and stop collection calls with our proven program. Call Zero Debt in 90 days now, 800-477-9256, and ask for free information from an expert who also completed our program. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. In a coming apart world, you need something to keep it tied together. That something is Atwood Rope, the highest quality rope made in the USA, from exotic braids for military, rescue, arborists, shipyards, tow line, or boating. Quality rope at affordable prices you and your customers can depend on. Find a dealer or shop online at atwoodrope.net. Enter promo code RADIO to receive 100 feet of 550 paracord free with purchase. Atwood Rope, working to keep the world tied together.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686